Hey, I'm Al McGee with YETicket.com. Well, I'm going to talk about this new documentary called The League. Now, let me ask you this. When was the last time you talked about, well, Jackie Robinson? Maybe you talk about Jackie Robinson, on Jackie Robinson Day now. But do you realize that Jackie Robinson came from the Negro Baseball League? Yeah, back in those days. And they were created in the late 1800s and then in the early 1900s. They existed for a very long time until Jackie Robinson. Let me explain that according to the documentary. First of all, the documentary was directed by the great Sam Pollard. This guy is a very good storyteller. Also, he knows how to put the information together. And he also knows what subjects to pick to get me emotionally involved, at least. I remember when I was a kid, baseball was kind of important to me when I was younger. I played it when I was a kid too and a young man, but I had other things to do. And now we still have baseball, but there's not many African Americans in it, but it still has a lot of Caribbean, Spanish speaking players, and they played also in the Negro Leagues too, back in the early 1900s. There are many people who are being interviewed in this film, and also past interviews from some of the surviving players at that time. They got Ahmir Baraka. He was interviewed in this. Paul Robeson Jr., Maya Angelou, Joe Early, and it can go on and on and on. And I will admit that this is a very, very good documentary to watch, especially if you want to know the history of sports. Also in this documentary too, I didn't realize that in the early 1900s, Major League Baseball, the white guys, they voted against having black guys in the Major League Baseball and to play against them. Why? They were better. Yes, they were much better than Negro Leagues. They were much better players than many of the white guys. In the early 1900s, there was Andrew Rube Foster. He was a talented pitcher and a manager and a ball club owner at that time. And he helped them to develop, well, a very good style of playing the game. But the white people, though, said their style of playing is not the real style of playing baseball. They, because they stole the bases better, they hit, they bunt, but the white guys didn't believe in that. They felt they were much better, and they think their little way of playing was best of all, but it was not. And by the 1924 Negro National League teams, they faced off against the Eastern Colored League, and we were, playing against each other. Now, that helped many Black communities in cities like Dayton, Ohio, Pittsburgh, and New York and Chicago, where they helped the income or the economics at that day because Black people went to those games. They went to see players like Josh Gisbert and Satchel Paige. Man, these were some great guys playing at that time. In fact, in 1933, the East-West Classic it drew 50,000 fans to Chicago's Comiskey Park. And it became an event for Black America in the 1930s and 40s. And that East-West Classic, man, it was very good for the Negro League and Black people too. During World War II, African Americans, when they came back, they expected to be embraced and they started playing baseball again, but they were not at all. And again, Black people played the game themselves and made money. They wouldn't make it millions of dollars like they're doing today, but enough to feed their families and feed themselves. But of course, there was a lot of racism again at that time. But then what happened after World War II, when this guy named Branch Rickey, he signed Jackie Robinson. But you got to watch this documentary. It's going to tell you who's really the first Black player to play with the white league at that time was not really Jackie Robinson, but Jackie Robinson had a very important part to play when he signed his contract in 1945 and when he hit the field in 1947. But unfortunately, that was success for baseball, but it was the downfall of the Negro League. And as you watch the documentary, it'll tell you all of that. A lot of things in it I did not know. Also, there is a museum for the African American Black baseball teams members, and I was surprised of that. The league will be showing in AMC theaters starting July the 7th. And then it will be available on digital, all the platforms that's available on July the 14th. But go see it in the movie theater starting July 7th, only in AMC theaters. And you will learn a whole lot. I learned a lot. I'm giving this 4 palm trees because I enjoyed the interviews and the history of it. And you will too. Hey, thanks for watching me, Al McGee, here talking about the league.
This is your entertainment ticket, latest and greatest.